Is there any single move that you guys could do right now to boost your income faster than an influencer shout out? Imagine having The Rock or Taylor or Mr. Beast do a shout out for your product. What do you would imagine, my friends, that that would do? Whether you coming up with the next coolest water or a crazy chicken to release the stress, or the next coolest pen that we used back in the 80s. Imagine what would that do for your business. Think about it. Doesn't matter what you sell, that will bring so much volume to your business that most people, they could not even handle the volume coming in. But isn't it funny that we spend so much time hunting and go finding the next marketing tactics to grow our businesses and our brands? And we waste so much time versus focusing on one or two things that will bring the most value, the most money, the most fun and happiness to our brands and our business to live the lifestyle that we want. In today's show, ladies and gentlemen, is a special show to my heart. As you guys know, I love supporting veterans. I used to be a Marine in Brazil, and I love helping my soldiers, brothers and sisters out there who are trying to fighting and protecting our borders. Today, I have an honor to have an incredible friend and client of mine coming on the show, who is a veteran, a relationship coach, incredible father, husband, speaker, that we're going to talk about from battlefield to the boardroom, unleashing the secret weapon of his success. Ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, to the stage, Mr. Willie Neely. What's up?
How you doing, sir? How you doing?
I'm doing phenomenal, my friend. I'm doing phenomenal, and I'm super excited for this show because, man, it's about to go down. You guys already know it. And today we're going to go deep here because I want you guys to really, really put some thought into what we're going to talk about here so that you guys can master the communication, so that not only has changed Willie's life, but also can revolutionize yours, ladies and gentlemen. One of the biggest things that we try to bring a lot of value to you guys here on this podcast. You guys know me. I love interviewing people, but I also love teaching it. And one of the biggest skill sets anyone should be learning out there right now is the ability to communicate, the ability to build those lasting change in relationships, which we happen to have a relationship coach here today, and the ability to get to the stages so that you can build the credibility, so that you can get in front of these influencers. Because imagine what they can do for yourself if you can get them to give you a shout out for your product, your service, your coaching program, your next coolest product, whatever that is. You see, I often teach a lot of small business owners. Most of them, they could not even handle the volume. They're not prepared to receive that high volume of clients, of orders. They cannot fulfill, unless if you're doing, drop shipping and AI. So we're going to have a great show here today. We're going to start over here with this question for you, my friend Willie. After your departure from military under challenging circumstances, and, assuming you can talk about some of those things, Willie, I know that the shit went down. What was that moment that ignited your determination to succeed in the corporate world? Can you walk us through that pivotal decision, but also talk about the turmoil, the shit that went down? You know what I mean? I like to talk about the deep stuff, the stuff that we don't talk about it.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks again. I want to tell you, I appreciate you, Carlos, man. You've been absolutely amazing. A mentor, a friend. And I just want to thank you, first of all, and for this opportunity. So when I was in the military, this was during the time when women actually was just coming aboard ships. So they were already in the Navy, but they just start becoming aboard ships. So I had I want to say, fortunate situation where I had first class petty officer who became my leader, who I had never met, never seen, never spoke to, but she was coming into our department and she had to make her name known. So I was on an extension, meaning I had already been in 4 years. So I was on 4.5 years because my daughter was just being born. So I decided to extend so that my wife at the time would have health insurance and that we didn't have any issues as far as my daughter being born, our daughter being born. Well, this woman came in and I had made a mistake and I own up to that. Went out. One of the guys was getting out. We had some drinks. I had probably 2 beers. Came back. They stopped me at the gate. They said, "Have you been drinking, sailor?" I said, "Yeah, I had a couple beers." They're like, "All right, go over there." Now, this whole time that I've been in, I was getting 4.0, 3.8 eval. Okay. The whole time I was in, I never got less than a 3.8. So that's basically an A minus B plus. And this woman, we stood in front of the captain, and all of my buddies was like, "Hey man, don't worry about it. You've never been in trouble. You've already done 4 years. 4 years, no trouble, no issues. You've been having all of these awards. You're good. Don't worry about it." Then I had a guy sitting right next to me, was on his third captain's mass for DUIs, where he's ran into the barracks, literally with a car. He's done all kinds of things. And they say, "You ain't got nothing to worry about." So I go in, I see the CO, and this woman gets up, again, never met her. This was my first time seeing her. And she says, "This is the worst sailor I've ever seen. This is the worst sailor I've ever worked with. This sailor has no accountability. She just tore me apart." Never met her. This was my first time meeting her because I was on what they call TAD. Because as when you're in, you have to go to other departments, temporarily for a little while. It can be the mess hall. It can be, some everywhere. But I was on TAD when she came into our department, so I didn't even know her. And so this woman got up there and just ran through me. And in that moment, I tried to speak for myself, and my XO tells me, "Stop making excuses. Stop making excuses. Stop talking, sailors. Stop making excuses." And I asked him a question. I said, "Sir, look at my evaluation. Look at my records. Let my records speak for me. I don't have to say anything. I've done everything that I'm supposed to do. I've done everything that you've asked of me, everything that you required of me, whatever was needed, I did it. I've never been in trouble. I've never had any issues. I've never done anything wrong." And they literally threw the book at me.
Wow.
Literally threw the book at me. They took a strike from me. They put me on restriction. They did everything that they possibly can do to me in that moment.
Wow.
So, not to add, when I went in, my recruiter, he told me when I went in, after high school, he's like, "Hey, what do you want to be?" I was like, "A robotics engineer." They're like, "Yes, you can do that." Robotics engineer didn't even exist back then.
Man, Willie. Man, you know what's crazy, brother? I was going, for the Marines in Brazil, and then I scored really high. So I was gonna graduate as a tenant. After 2 years in, the sergeant that was mentoring me, I need 2 more years to go to graduate as a tenant. And he goes and called my mother the B word, trying not to cuss. I promised my mom and Liz that I wasn't going to be cussing. Liz always gave me, "Carlos, try not to cuss, my friend." So shout out to my brother, Liz Brown. Love you, my friend. And the sergeant goes and called my mother. And you guys know my mama. She's known as a viuva negra, the Black Widow. Some of you guys that don't know my story, right? Father died in a horrible car explosion in a car accident. And my stepfather was murdered. So I grew up, people would joke with me, and mind that your mom marry or date, they die or they get murdered, and thank God I mastered how to reframe that from an early age, how to flip, the negative into positive. But and then the sergeant did the mistake to call my mother the B word. And I go, hell no. And I go, young and hungry, and hit him in the face, knocked him out. They threw me in military jail for a couple of days, and then they released me, said, "You out of here." And then, and thank God that happened. I ended up coming to USA at age 18 And, now the rest is history. We are here with an honor to, mentor people like you, man. As you guys know, I have this huge initiative that we support veterans. We offer scholarships. We help them getting paid to speak on the stages. Willie and I, we just happen to be coming off this powerful session talking about the power of communication and applying. And by the way, since we are talking about this right now, if you guys want to get a sample of that, I want you guys to go to getonmorestages.com. Go on my website, and there will be a free gift there on that site that you guys can have a part 1 out of 7 on how powerful the 7-figure word patterns that connect, that converts, and that creates a buying frenzy for your business. Willie just happens to experience the full-blown session with me before this show. So we are fired up here right now. Hey, Willie, how was that session?
Man, absolutely amazing, mind blowing, life changing.
I'm telling you guys, the difference between being selected when you master what you say, how to say it from the stage, when you are reaching out to event organizers, when you are networking with people in your local meetups, when you master communication and you bypass the conscious mind that's saying yes and no to you, and you get into the non-conscious side of the brain that can only say yes messages. That's why our success rate with clients like Willie and many other clients that have been through the program is incredible. And I like to put my mouth where my money is. We offer scholarships where instead of people paying tens of thousands, they can come in for a few thousand if we see a fit to work together and now help them dominate, educate to dominate their niche, because we're going to be teaching things that no one else is teaching out there. It's really being tactical, just like Willie and I are in military, and bringing that into your workplace. And that's why Willie is so effective in working with CEOs, in working with teams, and bringing his relationship in military training by doing workshops or working with you, CEOs watching us here live. It's the things that nobody else is teaching out there because nobody else knows. And if you do what others do, you're going to probably be getting the results of what others are receiving. And really, speaking of that, the impact of public speaking, which I always talk about, is one of the fastest way to build credibility and authority from the stage and get in the eyes of the celebrities, the athletes, the influencers, where you now can work brand deals for you guys that selling products, like I was started at the beginning of the show, or even if your product is a little chicken to reduce the stress. Imagine if Mr. Beast if you find a way to make this chicken eat the Fistable that he sells, his little chocolate that happens to do more within less than 2 years. Did you guys know that his chocolate, Mr. Fistable, has sold hundreds of millions of dollars and is actually competing with Hershey's chocolate, something that we could never, ever, ever, it could have happened in history, and Mr. Beast was able to do in less than 2 years. But how was he able to do that, ladies and gentlemen? It's the power of communications, building relationships since he was 11 years old with other influencers in his circle, and just getting in the game. Relationship building. Think about it. What is it Willie is doing here, right? He's a relationship coach. He's learning from myself. That's helping him, getting paid to speak big time from the stages, to do workshops, helping corporations advance faster, getting to the industry stages. But think about it, right? It's exactly what we do. We get into groups, we master, we learn from each other, we help more people, because by ourselves we can only do so much. But together we can move mountains. I want you guys to start thinking about if Mr. Beast could be able to do that from 11 years old, and then within less than 2 years, create a chocolate that can now, in less than 2 years, was able to compete with now Hershey's. So much more that can be done out there. And Willie, how has it speaking on the stages transformed your approach to building credibility and visibility in your field? And can you share how this visibility has impacted your business relationships?
Oh man, speaking on the stage is just absolutely amazing. Like I told Christoph, speaking on stage is my medicine because I get the opportunity to share with the audience exactly what it is that I've been able to do to help people in general dealing with relationships or businesses on how to be able to communicate more effectively. And being able to do that is what truly, truly inspires me and has really made a huge difference in my life because now I can do what I was bred to do, right? As being a veteran, we love to serve. So being able to serve, that was the biggest thing that I gained because I've been able to do it on a bigger level. And I've been able to touch more people. I've been able to help more people. And the thing with people as far as business goes, like I was talking to, I could say a business owner, right? And I reminded them and I asked them, have you ever been on a date? Right? Have you ever been on a date? What is it that you brought to that date? What did you think about before that date? That person that you was dating, how did you prepare for that date? Right? So treating that person as if they're the only person in the room. And you want to make sure that you order what they want and you listen to them. You hear their story. Imagine when you have a new hire coming in. You let them feel and make them feel like they're the most important person in the room. And you let them know that you're interested in them and you show interest in them. And you ask them, how would they like to be rewarded, right? How would they like to be treated? What are their expectations? It's the same thing in a marriage. It's the same thing when you go on that first date, right? But it's not just doing that, it's being consistent, doing it consistently. Not just that first day that they come in and they're hired and you want to say, you want to have balloons and, make them feel like they're so amazing. But then after 6 months, it's gone, right? But no, relationships don't work that way. You have to be consistent. And, just like when Christoph loved when I said this to him, when getting on the stage, I said, you got to show up to grow up, right? You got to show up to grow up. So in order for you to excel, exceed, you have to show up. You have to be present. And that's in everything that we do. Everything that we do.
It's funny you say that, but as I often talk about on the stage, and you and I we were talking about this before this, for any CEO who is struggling out there right now, and you're feeling that pressure from your board, maybe your stock is going down, the pressure from the board of advisors, I challenge you to give myself a shot to come in and bring our military training with the things that we teach. Willie goes deep within the relationship mindset, accountability. I come in with the military mindset like Willie and the sales and the marketing. And I challenge you to give us 10 of your guys a shot to do a workshop because there is power that happens there. And when you learn from military, we have a different relationship with practice. That is no plan B. When you have somebody come in from a consulting firm, is a lot of Mickey Mouse stuff, and that doesn't work. That's why the numbers are stalled. It's going under. You need military real men to come in and shake the freaking building.
Yeah.
Do you feel me? So that's why I often challenge CEOs and leaders. If you are struggling in your company, you have a sales team, you have a customer service, they're not performing. I challenge you to reach out to Willie Neely, reach out to myself, because we can come in and rock the boat. What we do is PCS. It's predictable, it's certain, and it's secure. Willie and I, my friend, we can take you, Mr. CEO, from frustration to freedom. But I'm fired up, man. As we were talking about this literally minutes ago, and I know a lot of people out there right now, you'll be grateful to have somebody like Willie that served our country, that put his life in the game, to come in and shake the building for you guys. And that's why I'm so honored to have you here on the show today, my friend. And in your experience, Willie, how crucial has public speaking been in opening doors to high-level networking opportunities, especially influencers and potential high-paying clients, right? They're watching us speaking from the stage, credibility, authority is being built. Talk to us a little bit about that experience that you are going through right now.
Man, It's funny. I told my wife that I was going to be on with you today, and she was like, "Oh, really? Like another one?" And I'm like, yeah, it's open doors to be on, several different podcasts, to be able to share my story, just to be able to be there to help others, to be that light, right? That light in the darkness. That's the part that's really, really amazing to me. And it really touches me because I'm able to do that. So for clients to see and know my story and me being transparent, and again, being in the military, they know that I'm coming with my heart. I'm leading with my heart. And I want them to win. Just like all of our brothers in the military, I got a lot of brothers that, that I served with that are still my friends this day. And we still are connected this day. Just like you said, Carlos, no man left behind, right? No man left behind. So having that same mentality when it comes to the people that I work with, they know that I'm going to give 120% of me. And like I tell you in my married couples, I tell them, I say, I'm going to give you 120% of me. All I ask is 90% of you.
Yeah.
That's it. 90. I'm going to give you 120 plus. Okay. If you catch me on a good day, it might be 150. But, you know, I'm good. And they know that that's what they're going to get from me. They know that they're going to get all of me. And I'm going to be there to support them because I want them to win. I want everybody to win. Just like we're winning, I want everybody to win. And that's the mindset and the energy that I go into it with.
I have a surprise for you over here right now, live on the stage. I'm going to get you on a powerful radio show slash podcast show with one of my business partners that have a giant, large audience as well. So get ready for that. And that's a gift for you for always being accountable, always showing up. Man, guys, Willie, he just goes through it. He shows up every week. He doesn't reschedule. He doesn't have excuses. He does the homework. We show him exactly what you do, what you say, how to say it, how to fill it out, the abstracts that will get him more speaking opportunities, paid speaking opportunities. And when you get to these stages, what do you guys think it can happen? Even if you're not able to pitch from the stage, but you're still getting paid 3K, 5K, you're working your way up. As you get bigger ratings, you get paid more the second time. And not only that, even though you're not able to sell from the stage, because you're mastering and learning with myself the word patterns, what you say, how to bypass the conscious, get into the subconscious, how to generate yes messages, buying frenzy messages, so you can sell more of your products and services. When you're reaching out to influencers, like say if you sell merch, if you sell the crazy chicken, that's gonna help you with the mental health. Or if you're selling a lollipop, now all you need is one influencer to give you a shout out, and you would have sell millions of lollipops. Even if you're making $1 or 10 cents profit, if you got millions of people buying it, it's a nice few $100,000 payday. But you see, it takes a whole nother level of mastery on what you say, how to say it, how to bypass that conscious mind. That's the problem with most people right now. You don't know how to be marketable and create a lure because most people are applying outdated marketing tactics. And that's where the training is so important, guys. Communication, building relationships, and getting to the stages, because now you're building authority. Now you're building credibility. Now you're learning what to say, how to say it. So you can now reach out to those influencers, get on more stages, get on more podcasts, get on more radio shows, getting paid to speak, the big mullah from the stage. Let's say if you are a consultant, a coach, now you want to sell your programs. Now you don't have to spam people on LinkedIn, on social media. Now they come to you on the stage. Now you imagine what would that do to your family? Imagining what would your wife and your spouse and your kids say, and you coming home and you say, wow, I spoke on this industry stage. There was 100 CEOs in the building, and 5 of them came to me and bought my relationship coaching program at 5, 10, 15K each. They hire me to also come in and do a workshop for 10 employees where you now charge $2,000, $3,000 a pop. That's a nice payday. You know what I mean? It's about being tactical, ladies and gentlemen. And really, what specific skills from your military experience have you found most valuable in corporate settings and now as you coach CEOs and teams? So that's part one. And then part two, how does the skills translate into building lasting change relationships?
So I'm glad you asked that, Carlos, because at the beginning, remember, I said me being, when I was in the military, my leadership, even though when you hear this, my story, the beginning of my story, I don't look at it as being something unfortunate. It was fortunate for me because I learned what a good leader doesn't look like, right? Because my leadership that I had in that moment, they didn't support me. I didn't feel valued. I didn't feel respected. I didn't feel honored. No matter how hard I worked, no matter what I did. And I didn't even mention that in my journey, I was I was one of very few that was in 4 years, starting as an E1, made it as an E4, and became a petty officer on his first tour. So I was doing everything that I needed to do. So what I grabbed from my military background, for one, again, no man being left behind. And my brothers, I got a big, great brotherhood. Like I said, I'm still connected to those guys this day. But I also had learned how to be a successful leader because every job that I had after the military, I was a leader. I was a leader and I always had guys up under me. And I always reflected back from the military of what I did not receive from my leadership. So that directed me to study and to change how I led the guys that was under me. I led by example. I checked in with them consistently and I was always there for them. So now I knew what I got from the guys that worked up under me when I showed up for them. So now I can tell CEOs, I can tell anyone that I deal with how it is to be an effective leader because I saw the results myself when I implemented it. So it's not even just me teaching them what it is that I learned. Now that I also help couples and I help married people to be successful in their marriages and their relationships. So now I also take that and implement that all together. And when you mash that together, man, and when you talk about communication, it's an amazing, amazing connection, right? Because one of the things that I had told you about that I had came up with was the MARE process. And that was the maintenance, evaluation, assessment, and response.
Yes.
So that's what I teach. And anyone that has utilized that method has not failed, have not failed. But again, you're going to have to do the work. Like I said, I want 90%. I'm going to give you 150. So I hope that answered the first question.
Yeah. No. They did big time. I like it. And can you think about a lot of people right now, really, right? They facing adversity, right? They struggling out there. A lot of coaches, a lot of speakers, people that want to be on the stages, a lot of employees, career in the corporate space that you and I help so many CEOs and teams. Can you discuss like a major challenge that you face in your career path and how you overcome it? What is one of the darkest times for you that you can think of it?
Well, this happened to one of the darkest times. It was actually with a married couple. It wasn't so much with a corporation at that time. It was with a married couple. And I had already been working with this married couple for, I think, about 6 months. And they wanted to rehire me. But I come to realize that they weren't doing the work. And so I had to tell them and I had to let them know that I'm not going to work with you. I'm no longer going to work with you. And my heart bled for them because I wanted their marriage to succeed. But again, if you don't show up, there is nothing that I can do. You have to make the decisions to do the work. And from that moment, I've had to tell every single corporation, people, that anybody, it didn't matter if it was a married couple, it didn't matter if it was an engaged couple, it doesn't matter who it is. I let them know that if you don't do the work, you won't get the results.
Yeah.
And if you don't do the work, I'm not going to accept your money. I don't care how much it is. I will refuse to work with you because I want to help those that want to be helped. I want to help those companies that want to be helped. I knew a young lady that was in the hospitality industry, and she came to me in tears, crying, simply because she had to go into a meeting that she knew nothing about, meaning that there was no expectations established on what the meeting was about. So she went into the meeting completely blind, going off of her assumptions. So those are the challenges that I have to deal with in changing the culture. But when I see people broken, when I see people struggling, when I see people literally in tears and crying, those are the most challenging times for me because those are the people I really, really, really want to help. But again, when I'm placed in situations where you have one party that wants to work, and you have the other one that doesn't, it kind of ties your hand.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love it. I love that question, man. You make me self reflect on a few projects that I assisted, and it's very difficult when you have opposing parties, especially in corporate, right? Because now you get HR involved and you have a couple of leaders that are not communicating. So now the message is not getting to the top. So some of you guys who are CEOs that follow us, I'm over here in Silicon Valley. I work with a lot of CEOs, and you guys know what I'm talking about. The moment there is that disconnect in communication, not just in relationship, in couples, but also in the workplace space, that's when everything goes down the drain, right? The sales performance, your sales metrics are going to crap. A relationship, the customer service is going to crap. All your metrics are down, and it's so important to. And I love that you have and that's the military in us, right? The standards to say no because you're not a therapist. You don't want to torture them and having them because nothing against therapists, but you got to have standards in your coaching, in your consulting, in what you do, because a lot of people out there, that they have certain consultants and certain people on their board, and some of the coaches and the consultants are not challenging them, are telling them what they want to hear instead of what they should hear. And that's when the change happens. By us having the balls to literally get HR out of the room, let me have a real talk with you guys. Let me talk to the sales team. Let me talk to your customer service team. Let me talk to your board. Let's have a real, raw conversation without the HR and the lawyers and the managers in the room. Let's just talk. And now I'm going to tell you from the heart, from experience, what you really should hear. So now we can change. Now we can go through that culture change. Now we can create that culture of excellence, that cultural transformation that you deeply seek. So I love, brother, what you just say here right now, because it's a lot of people out there, they think about those things, but they don't want to talk about it. They sugarcoating it for too long until heads are being fired and are no longer sitting on certain chairs in their companies because, you need a Willie. You need a Carlos to come in and shake the house, And really, speaking of a Willie and a Carlos, what has been, I always love to hear that, from our clients and the people that we support over the years. What has been one of the most transformative aspects in your journey, working with us within our speaking program that has done for you? What do you think has been the most significant?
Oh man, it's been absolutely mind blowing for me, man. And I am so grateful and thankful because there's been a huge shift in expectations, right? Because the one thing that I always do, and I'm thankful that I do this, but I always go in with a clean slate. Like the first time I stepped on the stage, I wanted to make sure I had no expectations. I go in there clean so that whatever I was being taught, I can learn it, right? Now to have nothing bucking against that. But you, man, just opened my mind and opened my world to things that I just did not even know existed and I wasn't even aware of. And I wouldn't even prepare for it. I was like, what? Okay, dang, all right. And then when we go over the 7-figure, I'm like, oh man, this is a game changer right here. I'm like, okay. It just, for one, it's excited me is definitely gave me a breath of fresh air and just gave me a new lens to look through. Because again, things that I was shown weren't things that I was taught even as I got certified, right? I wasn't taught those things. And even people before you that was mentors that I spoken with, that I had, they didn't talk about those things. They didn't teach the things that you guys have taught me and even shared with me. So I'm not just thankful, I'm grateful, I'm excited, I'm appreciative, and it's just, it's time to really, really win. You
Nah,
know,
man,
this
I appreciate it about the kind words. And, guys, like you guys know me, I can say whatever, I can be biased, but I love hearing, from our clients, especially veterans. They have a special place in my heart, because I've been one. And I just love helping our American soldiers that are out there serving. If you are the one who watching us, know that you guys can count with us. We do offer scholarships, man. And anybody here that's struggling in your business with your sales team, your customer service, your metrics, you're worrying about being fired, or maybe you are tired of your 9 to 5 and you want to transition, into a full blown career as a speaker, as a coach, as a consultant. I invite you guys to grab a free gift. What Willie just talked about, the 7-figure word pattern. I actually give it away for free. Part 1 out of 7 on a PDF, a little ebook. If you guys go on to getonmorestages.com, I want you guys to go there. That's a section in our site that says free gift. Grab that free gift so you can go through it for yourself and you see what I am talking about. And I invite you guys. They want to learn. Get on our calendar. Let's get on a session. Let's discuss about where you are in your business. And you never know. One session for free that you come in with me on Zoom can totally change the game for your entire business. Because at the end of the day, something that I always teach is the business, the influencer, the leader that adds the most value in their niche wins, period. Right? When you show up over here, whether you have a podcast, you have a radio show, you're on the stage, even if you speak in a local meetup, if you are the one that adds the most value to the people attending, you're going to win every time. All you got to know, ladies and gentlemen, is 30% more than the second guy and the third guy to separate yourself from the pack and deliver value. If you are starting now, ask them, tell them to give you a shot, give you a chance, come in, work with them for free, give them a massive result, document the process, show them where were they before you, where are they now, and watch the magic happens. Because that's where, you see, a lot of people out there, I often talk about these products or service descriptions, they do not sell. It's what your services, your products will do for them is what accounts. Too many people out there, they are selling their product descriptions versus really going deep and talking about what is it really doing it for people. Is it getting them on the stages? Is it getting them to those, 100K plus months? Is it getting them to fulfill their dreams or exit their companies? And maybe you are a small business and you have a construction company or HVAC or solar, and you're in your 60s and you want to retire. How about we get on the call and we show you guys how you can easily 3x your revenues just by making a few changes in your communication, in the way how you speak to your market, by making a few tweaks on the word patterns that connects and converts and creates buying frenzy, where now we can get a much bigger valuation for your business. And you can now sell that business for 3, 4, 5 times the value. What do you think that will do for you during retirement? You see, guys, the things that we teach is PCS. It's predictable, it's certain, and it's secure. And that's why I like to teach. And I love interviewing, teaching like we are doing here right now, because a lot of people out there are struggling and they want to help more people. And one thing is to say, oh, yeah, I love helping veterans. No, you guys see me over here in real time doing it. It's about doing it, the real thing in real time with real people and demonstrating it. Talk about the things that they are learning, how they are feeling about the process, and you guys replicate that. Because guess what? The students eventually becomes the teacher. We were just talking about that, Willie and I, before this. Many people that you guys see on TV, on the YouTube, I used to learn from them. Now some of them learn from me. But again, I'm like Jim. I'm gonna die in the coffin with books and my journals. I'm a forever student I just love helping people. And Will, I know we're having a great time here, my friend. And I know that we're getting within 45 minutes in this session. I normally don't like to go this long, but I was so fired up having you on the show. And I always love to end my episodes with a powerful question. And is your eulogy. And is 60 years from now, your best friends are in the room, it's playing AC/DC, Nirvana, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, whatever, you know. And then they're gonna say, Willie Neely was dot dot dot. In your own word, who was Willie?
Willie was a dedicated father, an amazing husband, a great speaker, and he loved everyone. And he always gave 120% to everyone. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your color, your breed, your sexuality, none of that. None of that matters at all because love is love. And the first thing that God required for us to do is to love, period. And recognize that we are humans first before anything else. That's who Willie is, and that's who Willie was.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I often say from the stage, it's not where do we come from, whether we went to school, or the color of our skin. It's our attitude that's going to make us win. It's something that I always talk about, and I love to end the show this. And really, before you tell us where they can follow you and learn more about you, I want to give a shout out. I was recently appointed advisory council member for Team USA. Right now, we are helping Team USA MMA. They're going to be competing in October in Romania. And right now, guys, we are on a mission. We need to raise $1 million to help 40 athletes get it to Romania, their next big tournament. We need to buy their gears. Then a lot of these guys are out there working. We need help, getting their gears, buying their tickets, airplanes. We got to pay the Romanian government. And there's a lot of things. As you guys know, a lot of teams within Team USA, they're not supported the way how the big teams like swimming and gymnastics and soccer are. So we need your help. If you are a business owner, if you can donate $1,000 minimum for Team USA, what you will receive for that, one, you can write that off. You also will get the athlete to make a video saying, hey, Mr. Business Owners, thank you for helping out. Because of you, I'm competing, I'm traveling, I'm here. So you can use that video on your social media. You'll get placement on Team USA website. I did a podcast with Team USA right before this episode. You guys can listen. Team captain Janae Noonan and I, we even sweetened the pie. In addition to getting that video from the athlete, in addition to receiving a placement on Team USA website and getting millions of views into your business, team captain and I are also doing a shout out on our Instagram. Hers is Janae Noonan, mine is Carlos Inspire. And you guys will get an additional shout out from her and from myself. So I have about 35,000 followers there. She has about 80,000. So you get almost 120,000 eyeballs into your business, into your brand. And you never know what 120,000 eyeballs will do, in addition to everything else that you are receiving just by donating $1,000 minimum to our athletes from Team USA. It's a win-win all around. You guys know me. I'm big, involved in a lot of causes. I sit on a lot of different boards. Right now, we're helping the Team USA. I'm involved in boards with helping the kids. They are facing hunger. You guys know every proceed from the book, Work Like an Immigrant, links under the bio. 100% going towards the book. Right now, we have Mother's Day is coming up this weekend. We launched the Carlos Inspire collection for Mother's Day. You guys go on TikTok at Carlos Inspire. We have some really cool mom shirts and gear. And we also donating most of that as well, going to causes to help support people in need. We need your help. Even if all you can do is a like, subscribe, drop a comment, every help, highly appreciated, so we can help more people. As you guys can see, we love helping the veterans. We're helping homeless. We're helping Team USA. We're helping kids facing hunger. It's documenting the process and just leading from the front. As I started at the beginning of the show, it's mastering that communication, mastering. We leave relationships to relationships, not paycheck to paycheck. And at the end of the day, man, like Willie say, man, everything's about love. It's about helping one another. And Willie, the best place, my friend, that they can follow you, where you hang out the most on social media or your website, where they can learn more about you.
Man, on all platforms except they can go to divineu.com.
Divine.
Yep, DEVINEU.com. And that's where they can find me. And on the other platforms like Facebook and on Insta is Coach Neely. So Coach Neely. Last name Nealy.
Cool. I'm going to put over here
Yep.
divineu.com for you guys watching us live and you guys listening to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Music, Amazon Music, and around the world. You go to DEVINU.com. Divine, the letter U.com. Appreciate you, my friend Willie. Appreciate you guys, man, watching us from home live, later on the replay. Drop a like, drop a comment, share this with everyone you love. And we are on a mission, my friends, to help millions of people around the world. I appreciate you guys. You guys know the drill. Life is all around the mission, never the commission. And when you feel like giving up, you know it, baby. The days that breaks us are truly the days that makes us up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.